Aldershot at home. This is the last of this sort of clutch of home games that you've had together, obviously because of the snow and stuff. Has this run been a bit of a millstone for you, really, in terms of expectation, perhaps?
No, I don't think so. We haven't done as well as we would have wanted, obviously. But like I say, you can't do anything about it. You know, games, fixtures are just set out, and we have to arrange things. It's certainly not helped us on the pitch. Certainly not helped us the way we want to play. I don't think the boys have particularly enjoyed playing on the surface, but it's the same for both teams. We haven't picked up the points we wanted, and we've just got to make sure we try and get 3 points on Saturday.
Speaking to Neil Howarth on Monday, he said that from his perception, the players do seem to be almost less worried about misplacing a pass away from home than at home. Do you think that's been evident to you as well, and over the season as a whole?
I think it's not. We can't use it as an excuse for me. You know, it's. If we look back on the season so far, you know, our run of good form at home was when the pitch was decent, and our dip in form certainly coincided with the deterioration of the pitch. But listen, that's just a fact of life, and we've got to get on with it. We've been disappointing at home since November, really. You know, we've had a few good performances, and it's difficult to really pinpoint what. But the bottom line is, you know, the lads have had to work at every game, and no game is easy. And you have no divine right to win home games, to win against bottom of the league tables or anything, teams or anything. We've been competitive in most games, home and away. Haven't been blown away by too many teams, and it's a really fine line. And early on in the season, things were going for us, and we were playing some good stuff. But we found it difficult to really dominate teams at home. You know, if you look at the games we've won at home, the games we've won away, we've not really dominated a team for 90 minutes. And you know, there've been except there are times where we have, but it rarely happens. And that's when that bit of quality in your squad, that bit of know-how, that bit of experience, which we probably, particularly the experienced bit, we don't probably have enough of. But that's where we find ourselves, and it's a good learning curve for the players, and we've got to make sure that, you know, we carry on improving this season, and we get even better next season.
So for the last 11 then, is it about perception for you, that the perception has to be for the supporters and for everybody outside the club that this has been a loss of form, but it's nothing that's deep-rooted?
I don't care about perception. I think it's about reality. I think it's about winning games of football, playing decent football, but yes, learning from it. Yeah, I don't care what the people think, but apart from the supporters and my chairman and my board and my players and the group that are around here trying to win games for Cheltenham Town. You know, we know what we've got. We're trying to do the best we possibly can with it, and sometimes you come a little bit unstuck, and we just find ourselves in that. But what I want them to show a bit of character, like on the whole they have done all season. I want them to show that it matters, that there's 11 games to go, and we want to pick up as many points as we can. You know, we know we can go on a decent run of winning games, but we've got to not know it, we've got to show it.
Are you too far out to have set a target for points, or do you not do that?
No, that's all. We've just got to. We want 3 points Saturday, and then we'll move on to Bury away next week. You know, we've got to run. We've got every game is tough, and you can't say, yeah, we'll pick up points there, you know, and we'll settle for a point there or whatever. We've got to set out, and we do set out to try and go and take maximum points from every game. You know, we don't fear anybody. We know there are some really top sides in this division, but you know, on the whole, it's about who competes on the day and who wants it more, who believes in themselves more, who gets a little bit of luck, who has total belief in themselves, and you know, we are mid-table, and that's probably a fair reflection. We want to make sure that we stay at least mid-table as well.
You took your chances at Aldershot when you beat them back in the autumn.
Yeah.
Has Dean Holdsworth been in there long enough to change very much and put his stamp on things?
He's been there a few months now, so I presume he has. I read a quote from the other day saying it was still work in progress, and That's right. But I'm concerned about us. I'm concerned about us making sure that we get back to doing what we do best. We got beaten by a better side than us on Saturday. I thought we were excellent for 25, 30 minutes, and then the old mantra that goals change games, and it certainly did that. But we've got to get back to what we're doing best and work even harder. I keep talking about working harder, and I think Chesterfield proved that you can have the players, but they can if they work, they become even better players.
And they had lots of experience too. Do you think experience is a big factor at this level?
I think experience counts when things are certainly not quite going for you. I think you can get away with it when you've got young, hungry players, but I think you do need a smattering of experience. I don't think you can just purely rely on those younger players. But at the business end, and when things are not quite going for you, your older heads need to stand up and be counted, like they all do. But they've got good players, and we've got good players, but we're just lacking a little bit of nous sometimes. A bit of naivety at times cost us. But again, we are where we are, and I've got a good set of lads down there, and they want to keep working, they want to keep improving, and as long as we channel that in the right direction, then we'll be okay.
No Bird, Riley or Keithlow last Saturday.
Yeah.
What chance of any of those three for this week?
Bar Martin, I think we should be okay. I think we should be. Martin's at Lillishall this week, having an intensive rehab session, if you like, and conditioning session, and making sure that we're not missing anything with him. Keith will be back in training and trained on Tuesday, trained today. Same with Birdie was involved on the bench. We felt we could risk him on the bench because it wasn't too bad, and he's trained all week. So yeah, bar Martin, we should have a full squad.
And just lastly on Martin, I mean, you had him at Kiddie, didn't have injury problems there. So has that sort of repetition of injury surprised you a bit?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's not something I want. When you have a small squad, you've got to try and get players who play 30, 40 games a season. And Martin's not had that problem before. It is a little bit of a step up for him. We know that. On the whole, I think he's coped with it well. But from what I can gather from the Wes spoke to the lady at Lillishall who does all the rehab, and the strength is down in one of the hamstrings. So it's a case of him looking after it and conditioning it better than it is.
Thank you.
Mark, it's been your first full season as a Football League manager. Obviously the players are learning all the time.
Yeah.
Do you think you've learned a lot from this season as well?
I've learned lots, yeah, absolutely, yeah. And we'll continue to do so. We try and do the best for with what we have, and the best with the group of players for them, for everybody involved with the football club. Yeah, we've done things that people might think, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. It's easy to say on hindsight. There's things, one or two things that perhaps I think should have done this, but that's what you go with. You go with your feeling. You go with what you see day in, day out on the training ground, and sometimes it doesn't quite come off for you. But on the whole, I think we have made progress. Not as much as I would have liked, but with what we have, with where we are, we're moving in the right direction. Yeah,
I mean, some of the financial results that come out recently show that this could be looked back on the season where the club got itself back on a stable footing, and obviously the playing budget and what you've been able to do will have reflected that. So to be mid-table at the moment, it's not.
That's what I'm saying. I think if anything, I think we knew. I certainly knew. Myself, my staff. I think I knew for definite that. I kept saying to you, it's not always going to be a bed of roses. It's not always going to be. I thought we might have a dip at some stage, and like I said a couple of weeks ago, I hoped and prayed that I could keep driving them on and my staff could keep working. But we have got some young players, and like I said, it's their first time they've really been involved in a first team on a regular basis, and they've all been in and around it. But actually, to play 35, 38 games, something like that, it's a big ask for a young group of players, week in, week out, especially when things don't quite go for you. We'll keep assessing ourselves, we'll keep working hard. There's always room for improvement in everything, but I think we set because we started well enough, and I think everyone's expectation just lifted a touch, and yeah, I wanted that, and I wanted them to keep driving on, but I think we found it tough since the end of since January, and that's where we've got to look back and think, right, what could we have done differently, what could we do better, but you know, I'm relatively pleased with the effort that the players have put in. You know, I don't know how much more there is for them to get. Listen, we could have been better on certain games and certain situations, and we know we need to be better. But they've done more than all right, and we perhaps just raised expectations a little bit too early, and to find ourselves, you know, mid-table, and been in the form since sort of January. It is disappointing, but it's nothing that we've got to worry about. It's nothing that we've got to beat ourselves up about. We've just got to learn from it and be better from it.
A lot of the players' contracts have already been sorted out, or they've already got another year. Are you confident, you know, if you can keep this bunch, the vast majority of them together, and then maybe add a couple this?
Yeah, I mean that's the aim. That's you know, my aim is to take the team, take the club forward, and that's what we're trying to do. You know, I'll sit down with the chairman over the next couple of months and budgets and sort it out for next season, stuff like that. But that's not my main priority at the moment. You know, of course we're doing that, but we're trying to win games. We're trying to get the players playing with confidence, playing with a bit of freedom, but also having that work ethic that Chesterfield showed wins your leagues.
Yeah. Did a couple of players put themselves back in your thoughts for their performances on Monday night in the County Cup?
Yeah, it was, you know, we were on a bit of a hide into nothing for me, you know, against a young team, full of enthusiasm. But I thought we came through it quite well in the end, and it was a damn sight better than losing 4-0 to them the year before, you know. So one thing I would say is how good the supporters were the other night, and I know it was our fierce local rivals in Gloucester City, but that sort of noise on a Saturday would be much appreciated.
Cheers, Mark.